Long division. All right, now this would be one that you'd probably be insane to want to do long division rather than doing synthetic division. However, I chose this problem because it's going to be going over a lot of steps over and over. For those of you that forget long division, it's a great problem to start off on. So when applying this, again, what we're going to do is just apply the long division algorithm. Let's reset. If you remember from your good old days, you set the divisor on the outside, and then we write our dividend in the under our root symbol. So or not a root symbol, but our little box. Okay, so there's two parts of your divisor that we're going to be looking into. Actually, really only one part. We need to make sure that's in descending order. But the first part of our divisor, that's what we're actually going to divide into our dividend. And then we just need to make sure whatever term we get up front as far as our quotient, we multiply it by both terms of our divisor. All right? So let's do the first one that we'll write in here. So x divides into x to the fourth. How many times does x divide into x to the fourth? And really what I'm asking, how many times does x divide into x to the fourth? Which is just x cubed, right? Now, I write those little green arrows for you to say, all right, now what we do is we multiply times both terms of our divisor and write it down below. So x cubed times x is x to the fourth, and x cubed times 2 is going to be a 2x cubed, positive 2x cubed. Now, here's where it gets a little confusing. So now we wrote them down below. I like to put them in parentheses, and I subtract now the two rows. When subtracting the two rows, I get x to the fourth minus x to the fourth, which is just a 0x to the fourth, which is non-existent. You don't even have to write it. 5x cubed minus 2x cubed is 3x cubed. There's obviously no x squared or x, so you can just say those are all just subtracting from 0, so you can just bring them down. All right? Now we apply the whole process again. X divided into 3x squared. How many times does x divide into 3x cubed? Right? And you could say, well, it divides into there a 3x squared times, right? So you do positive 3x squared. Now again, we multiply times every single term in our divisor. So 3x squared times x becomes a 3x cubed. Then we have 3x squared times 2 becomes a positive 6x squared. Then, again, I group them and I subtract. So therefore, now we have 3x cubed minus 3x cubed is just 0x cubed, which just goes to 0. 6x squared minus 6x squared is just 0x squared, which again goes to 0. And then these, again, we're subtracting them from 0, so it'll just be a negative x minus 2. So now we say x divides into a negative 2, right? We just start the whole process again. X divides into negative x, negative 1. So we bring up negative 1. Negative 1 times x is now going to become a negative x, and negative 1 times 2 becomes now a negative 2. Again, we group, and we subtract. And we get 0x, and we get 0. So therefore, the quotient of this is right there. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you apply long division. Thanks. So that's pretty much all we doing.